Hey mamas, can we just take like a collective deep breath? Like, okay. That's how I kind of feel. Coming out of February, moving into March is like, we made it. We made it through February. February was an interesting month, and so I'm gonna try to recap it for you in this video and talk to you about my goals for March and just chat with you. I did not do my hair or my makeup or my nails or anything for this video. Nothing today has gone as planned. I'm getting over being sick. I just figured, let's do this. I'll show up and we'll do this video and everything will be fine. I have so many things to share with you guys in this video. It may even end up having to be broken into parts, so it's not super long because I feel like I have a ton to share. Drinking my coffee. I've been drinking tea nonstop because, like I said, I have been sick. I almost fully lost my voice a few days ago. I feel like I talked to you guys about this like a month or two ago, almost the same conversation. So here we are. But I'm feeling better. It did not last long. I've been using all homeopathic remedies, and so I feel really happy about that. I feel like that's been something that we have been continuing to learn and grow together in as a family, is just becoming more holistic in our approach to health. And so we'll get to that later in the video. I'll share with you maybe some of the things that we did that go along with kind of our homeschool life and just life in general and things that we did in February. And so if you're new here, I'm Christina and I am a homeschool mom to 5 kids ages 3 through 15. And I do this monthly video where I recap our month, how it went, what we actually got to, what worked, what didn't work, and then what my plans are for the month ahead. And then if you catch the next video, you can see how many of those things were really realistic and what did we get to and all of that. How was your February? What went well? Like, what was the best thing about February? And then what was like hard or didn't go well? Let me know. I feel like it is so cliche, but February really is a month. It really is. Like, every month is a month. But it was just an interesting month. And so there were a lot of good things, and then there was also some struggle. And I am not super organized for this video. I know that comes as a huge surprise to some of you that have been watching these videos since I started them, maybe, I don't know, like 7 months ago or something. You guys might remember better than me. But I'm gonna start with looking back at what I said our goals were for February, and then that will kind of help me remember and see like what did we actually get to. Guys, is this real? I didn't write a February wish list. And I'm kind of remembering, like, my goodness, I'm kind of remembering in the January video or in the February goals video saying like, I am just shooting from the hip. I will write these goals down later. And clearly I didn't do that. So here we are. So I'm gonna flip through my planner, guys, and try to remember what we did. And then I do have fun. I do have exciting things to share with you. I have 2 separate giveaways to share with you. I have new spring knowledge crates. I have so much good stuff. A brand new unit that I created because the spring book club launches today, and I created probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite units to date for it. So bear with me as I try to get started. So, okay, looking at my calendar for February, I did have some things written down. And the sad part is a couple of the really cool field trips that I had set up, because if you remember, one of my goals was getting outside and embracing more of the winter weather here where we live in upstate New York, where it is cold and sometimes snowy. Right now it's snowy. It looks beautiful in my big bay window, and we have seen at least 5 different birds today in this snowy scene, and it was really beautiful. So there's that. But we were supposed to go snowshoeing. That was canceled. We were supposed to try kick sledding. That got canceled. So yeah, there's been a lot of canceled things. But we did go for like a hike with our Wild and Free group. And what else did we do? We went roller skating with our other homeschool group. Trying to remember what other things that we did. They'll come to me as I go, I think. Okay, natural medicine unit. We jumped into the natural medicine unit. We are still only a few lessons in. And I will tell you oh, that's why I didn't write that whole list. Okay, I just remembered. Now I don't feel so bad. Clearly I didn't check any of this before this video. Okay, because I had done this half year at a glance thing. That's what I had done. And I still did need to go back and do the wish list, but I didn't. Okay, so I said that I was going to do natural medicine 2 times a week. And that is pretty much true. I did do it 2 times a week. However, that does not equal 2 lessons for the most part, because we are doing the core connections with, if you're familiar with Campfire curriculums, their units have this optional core connections component as like a supplement. So you have your regular unit and then you have core connections, which ties in other core subject areas so that you could essentially pause. For example, one way you could do it is pause all of your core subjects or some of your core subjects and just dig in deep to the topic that you're focusing on in Campfire curriculums. Or you could just use it to supplement those other subjects. Or like for us, because we don't have like a really strict schedule for many of our core subjects or strict curriculum for many of our core subjects, we kind of weave it in with the other things we are doing in those core subjects. And we like that connection to be made. Like there's been some really cool learning about like the history of medicine, for example, that it doesn't really dive into deeply in the natural medicine unit, but in the history portion of the core connections supplement, it really digs into the history of medicine, which has been really, really interesting for us and we really liked it. So we're only a few lessons in because sometimes we will break the lesson into 2 separate days so that it doesn't get to be like too much reading. Also because there are a lot of recipes, it's a lot of hands-on stuff in this unit. So the kids aren't doing like worksheets and stuff like that. They're trying recipes and making like turmeric shakes has been something that has actually become a new staple in our home for a snack because it is super healthy and super delicious. It tastes like a tropical smoothie, but it has all of these other ingredients in it that are super beneficial to your health. We tried, instead of curry chicken, there was a curry chicken recipe. We made curry tofu. That was another recipe that we tried. I tried the golden coffee recipe, which is basically a turmeric latte, with my husband. And so we've been trying the recipes in there and just trying to take our time with it. So we are loving it. We have not been doing it every day. Just like I said, we've been doing it about 2 times a week. So far, absolutely loving it. And it really aligns with just real life, what we want to be learning for real life, right? And so the Ottoman Empire is not something that we are trying to learn about for real life. Do you know what I'm saying? So really trying to dig into what's real for us in our life is more our main focus right now. And I would say that really did apply to our February. And so as a little bit of a side note, 2 of the words, I should say, that have really been on my heart recently are nurture and nourish. And I've been really trying to like unpack like, okay, what does it mean to nurture and nourish my family, right? Like, what does it look like to nurture and nourish myself and my marriage and my children and our family, which is essentially our homeschool. And so it really has been a process of like putting everything through that filter of like, does it nurture and nourish us in this season as we're going through some tough things, which I don't really share fully publicly, but I've alluded to different times. So if you have it on your heart to pray for us, the next couple of weeks are leading up to a day that will determine a lot of important things for my older 3 children. So if you could keep us in prayer, I would really, really appreciate it. And so really just what is nurturing and nourishing us in this season, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and really trying to lean into that right now and maybe lay aside things that are not seeming to nurture and nourish us for where we are right now. And that's one of the beautiful things about homeschooling is like, math is important, but like if math is not the priority in this season, That's okay, because math will be there next week, next month, next season, right? And so those are the things that we have to allow ourselves and our children to experience, is like in life, we can have the freedom to decide this is not the priority this season. It may have been a priority in a different season. It may have nurtured or nourished or served a purpose in a different season. It may have fell in a different place and priorities in a different season, and just really noticing that. So I share that to say, like, that's where we are, and that's kind of like what I'm working through, but also like if you need to hear that for maybe some things that you need to evaluate in your life, in your homeschool, in your family, then hopefully that will help you. So natural medicine, that was really great. Is really great. I'm sure we will be doing it for another couple of months because we're not in a rush. Nature Study Club, polar animals, was the topic for February, and I said we were going to do that 1 to 2 times weekly. We did stay true to that, 1 to 2 times weekly. 2 things that I want to say about this, and this will work different for different families. Hopefully I don't lose my voice talking this much in this video. It's set up to be done 4 to 5 days a week, like a typical curriculum would. The readings or the lessons as a group are not long. And then you also have the student notebooks. And so 2 things that I've been doing regarding both the teacher's manual lessons and the student notebooks are that for the readings, we are doing them in 1 to 2 days. Like some days we will sit down and the bulk of our morning time will be going through our readings for Nature Study Club for that week at the start of the week. So typically we've been doing that on Mondays or maybe Tuesday, but usually Monday. And then watching a couple of videos that are related to those topics. Oftentimes those QR codes are either right in the teacher's manual or they're in the senior or expert explorer level student notebooks. And my kids don't have access to any device that would scan that, and then they'd be able to watch it on their own. So what I've been doing so that they're not missing out on that learning is I do it on my phone, I screencast it to the TV, and we just watch it together because it's a video about like a polar bear or glaciers or something that really benefits all of us, and it's interesting learning. So we did watch some different videos with Nature Study Club throughout February, which really did add to our learning about polar animals, right? Because it's not like learning about birds where we encounter birds in the everyday wild, right? Where we live. It's really learning about a place that we haven't seen up close. So that's a place where like photographs and videos really do kind of add to the understanding and the learning. So that was really cool. The Constitution unit was the next thing I wrote down. I said 1 to 2 times weekly. We did not really stay true to that. I think we did it like twice in February, to be honest. I've been asked to do a follow-up video about the Good and the Beautiful Constitution unit and the Gather Round U.S. Government unit. Let me know if you're interested in that. I go back and forth about doing it because we're still doing the Constitution unit, you guys. It is a little bit hard for us to get through. Not that it's not well done, but that I'll talk about another day if people are interested in that. So that is still something we will work on moving forward, but again, not a top priority. So that's why we didn't get to it a ton of times. Playful Pioneers 2 times a week. So we've pretty much stuck to that, which was a change in February because the few months leading up to that, we were doing it like 4 days a week. It was our main spine for our learning. And then we would weave in other things. But because we were adding in things in February and we weren't like finishing things or putting other things aside, I didn't want to just like add on to more stuff we were doing. I wanted to kind of slow down Playful Pioneers, even though I wanted to continue it, and then add in other things so that we weren't doing more school or more formal lessons. We were just adding in other things. So that has worked really well. I liked really focusing on it heavily in the beginning where we really got used to the rhythm of it and how it works. And it's actually worked really well to do it about 2 times a week. And so that has worked really well for us. We are currently reading Little House on the Prairie because we finished Little House on the Big Woods, and we are reading Little House on the Prairie. We are just a few chapters in, but we're enjoying that so far. And that is a little bit of a good moment to pause and just talk a little bit about the spring book club before I forget. because I do not outline my videos as I probably should. But the spring book club, if you're familiar with the book club bundles and you know how they go, there are books in there all the way down to like early preschool, early learner level to chapter books. So there are units in there that go along with books like Up in the Garden, Down in the Dirt. There are units that go with books like Wind in the Willows and Little House on the Prairie and Charlotte's Web. And the unit that I created for it, which is the Burgess Bird book for children. And so I want to show you the unit that I created and talk more about it because I'm super excited about it, but I'm going to try to wait till I get through February. However, I did want to just share with you the spring book bundle. It will be available starting today, and it will be linked down in the description box if you are interested in going and taking a look at it and or grabbing it. So Woven Melodies, which is our music curriculum that we dip in and out of depending on the season. That really is like nurturing and nourishing, but still doesn't tend to float to the top of our priority list in most seasons. And so we did it a couple of times. I really do love it. I will try to link it down below. If I don't remember to specifically link it, it is by Thistles and Biscuits, and they are always linked in my description box with a discount code. That is all I had written down. I'm trying to remember if there are other things we did. We did quite a few things from our winter knowledge crates, trying to like finish up some of the things that were in there so that when our spring knowledge crates came, we would be ready to start them. We still have a handful of things, actually quite a few things from our winter knowledge crates. It's almost like hard to finish everything that is in those boxes because there's so much. But I do have the spring knowledge crates here that I do want to try to get a chance to show you if this video doesn't get too long. If not, I will show you in like a part 2 or in a future video in the next week or 2. But that is something we will definitely be doing in March. More specifically throughout the spring is the activities in the spring knowledge crate. I am so excited about it. I can't wait to show it to you guys, or at least tell you some of the things that are going to be in there. What else did we do in February? So I'm currently trying to like switch back and forth between these two planners. So I have my old planner from For the Love of Homeschooling, and then I have my new one that I need to like fully switch over to as we move into March. I can't even believe I'm saying March already. So here's some other things though that I did write down. I did write down some things that we did that I wanted to share with you. My 15-year-old got this book from my mom called Rhinoceros Focus, and he loved it. He read it in like 2 days. It's all about like being focused, being ambitious, like really focusing on your goals and all of those things. He really, really liked it. So look into it and see if it might be for you or for one of your teens. Both of my boys are currently reading The Call of the Wild. That is something that I had planned for February to go along with the Polar Animals unit. That was one of the things I did to kind of like deepen their learning and kind of a literature aspect. They are both reading Lillian Trasher, which is a Christian Heroes Then and Now book that I thought I had. Yes, I do have right here. I gave them the option between Mary Slessor and Lillian Trasher, thinking they would each read one. They both wanted to read this one. So they're both reading this one, and they're both reading The Call of the Wild. My 7-year-old read A Wolf in the North Woods from The Good and the Beautiful. That was kind of like her book to kind of go along and kind of be similar to what they read. She really liked it. She struggled a little bit with the end because I don't want to spoil it, but kind of like the cycle of life happening there. But other than that, she really liked it. Giveaway. Okay. I'm going to wait to the end to share the giveaway, you guys, because I don't want to be all over the place, but make sure you watch to the end to find out what you are going to win in the giveaway. 2 different giveaways if you enter them. I have quite a few fun projects that I am currently working on that I'm so excited to share with you, but you will have to just kind of like wait and see on those. We did a lot of just natural learning. Like they had a lot of free time to kind of unschool, so to speak, to dig into their interests. Like my boys did a lot of like modifying those Matchbox cars, taking them apart, modifying them, painting them. They also did that to like one of those RC, like the remote control cars, and also the like little ride-in motorized car that was like for my 4-year-old when he was 3. They modified that whole thing. It's been really interesting and really messy. They took apart a lawnmower. there's been a lot of that kind of stuff going on over here, but that's kind of like what we want, right? Like we hear those stories from other homeschool moms and we're like, wow, like I really want my kid to do that. And then our kid is taking apart a lawnmower and we're like, well, what are you doing? So talking about me here. So it's good. My 7-year-old built like a whole nature house in my backyard on a fairly cold day with my 3-year-old and my 4-year-old, and they were so imaginative and it was so cool to see. And like, these are the things they do when they have the time to get bored, when they're not bogged down with too much academics and they're not bogged down with like screens and being overstimulated and all of the things. Oh, that was the other thing that I wanted to say about Nature Study Club. So the way I've been using Nature Study Club is not doing it cover to cover and feeling like we have to do it that way, right? But instead, like for January, I chose 4 different lessons. We actually only did 4 of the lessons. I shared that in the last video, so I won't be repetitive with that. For February, we've been doing all of the lessons, but we haven't done like all of the STEM activities. I haven't had them do all of their work in their student notebooks. I've actually been having them choose which activities they're most interested in. And then I might say like, okay, so I'm gonna pick one from this week that I want you to do, and you're gonna pick one from this week that you wanna do. Or pick the ones that you want, and then I'll let you know if there's one that I really want you to do that you didn't pick. So it's not like you have to do all of the work in the student level notebook. That's not how I'm approaching it. Some months we do the final project, some months we don't. Some months I'll say to my oldest, I want you to do this final project even though no one else is doing final projects. So we really just use it as a tool for what works in our family for that particular season. So I wanted to share that. What else? Is there anything else? We made elderberry syrup from our Earthly kit that I shared with you guys in one of my previous videos. I am loving the Earthly products. You can still get 20% off if it's your first time ordering from them with my code, which is linked down below. It is super affordable for holistic health. Like, some of the stuff gets really expensive, and so I highly recommend them if you are looking for natural medicines, natural remedies for things that you are trying to replace or swap out or just try out. Highly recommend them. We have been loving everything from them that we've used so far. Another thing that we did was our heritage letters. And if you saw my last video, or if you've heard me talk about it a while back, heritage letter comes to our house once a month. It is a letter about a person in American history, and it is a letter like from the desk of. So it is like a little short bio written by that person, and it comes with like 2 little cards, and I share them last month. This month, one of the giveaways, which I will just go ahead and share right now, is the American Heritage Adventure Letter, which is about a specific landmark in the US. And so this one is really fun. My kids really get excited about this one, especially my younger ones. Like, they all like this one, but it's a little bit more accessible for my younger ones because it's a little bit more like colorful and visually appealing. So they really, really like it. And I'm going to show you a couple of those at the end of the video and show you how you can win, because you will be winning a year of American Heritage Adventure letters. The most recent one was Big Bend. So I wanted to show you like what these look like. And then the little postcard. So that's the one that came in February. So I wanted to give you that example. Back to March goals. So continuing natural medicine, doing the Nature Study Club topic for the month of March, which is seeds and planting. So I am so excited about the March topic because a variety of reasons. I want to start growing more medicinal herbs. So a couple of years ago, we did the square foot gardening unit from Campfire Curriculums, and we built our very first raised bed, and we've been doing more in-depth for us gardening the last couple of years, which we want to continue, and there's still so much more to learn and experiment with. And so I love that this will serve as like a bit of review, but then also like looking at things from a little bit of a different perspective. And I'm so excited for this unit, like so excited. I'm sure we will do a lot of this unit because it is so naturally applicable to our lives. So it really does flow with that whole like nurturing and nourishing, like growing our own food, growing our own natural medicines, and things like that. So super excited for the seeds and planting unit. So continuing with doing natural medicine twice a week, doing nature study club twice a week. I'm trying to do the Constitution unit once a week because that is like somewhat realistic for us. Playful Pioneers will continue to be at that new 2 times a week amount. And then this is kind of cool because I want to show you what I created, the unit that I created to go with the Burgess Bird Book for Children. And it really goes along with another one of the things that I had on my March goals list that I did back in January, which is Exploring Nature with Children. Week 1 is birds, focusing on nesting birds. And that is one of the very first units that I ever did a few years ago with Exploring Nature with Children. And so I love Exploring Nature with Children. I'm not going to get into it too much, but it is linked down below if you want to take a look at it. There is a different nature study topic each week of the year in Nature Study Club. So it's just like a quick study of a different topic of nature. And then I had planned, this is actually before I planned to do this. Like, it's crazy how much happens in a month. I planned on combining that with Idlewild letter B, the letter B unit, which focuses on birds, because I like the approach of that literature-based and hands-on, just lovely studies that come in the Idlewild organic studies. And I also love the component of the word studies that goes with it. So if you've never heard me talk about Idlewild, it is another kind of natural, organic nature studies type of curriculum that is literature-based, and it also has what Exploring Nature with Children and Nature Study Club do not have, and that is a Bible study component that is optional. Like, you could just totally not even buy that part of it, or you could buy that component that aligns with every lesson. So I still plan to do Exploring Nature with Children, the Birds Week, which is the first week of March, and tie in the birds unit from Idlewild and also the unit that I created to go with the Burgess Bird Book for Children. So if you're not familiar with this book, it is a classic. It has been it's one I had been wanting to do with my children. It is written as a narrative in a story format, but it is so informative about so many different kinds of birds. It's kind of like one of those classic Charlotte Mason style living books. And so we are going to be going through this book with my unit that I created, which I do want to talk to you about because I am really excited about it. And I feel like, as far as I know, it's pretty unique in its approach. And so this is the book companion guide to the Burgess Bird Book for Children. I did bind it. Obviously, you don't have to do that. But this is meant to be a notebooking guide. So essentially, it teaches you how to notebook. So if you have been curious about notebooking or interested in notebooking but don't really know where to start and feel like you would need somebody to guide you on how to do that, this unit will do that. If you already notebook but you would like a guide to bring you through the Burgess Bird Book for Children, this unit will do that. If you don't want a notebook but you would like a book companion guide to go along with the Burgess Bird Book for Children, this will also do that. So I want to explain. So you could use this by printing out like the copy work and the teacher's prompts and things like that, and paste some of those things into a notebook, or just bind the copy work in a notebook for your child. Or you can print none of this, like it's not required to print any of this in order to use it, and just use it as a notebooking guide. And so I just want to walk you through a little bit about it. So it tells you the books that are required, which is really just one, which is there's 2 different versions. The original is in black and white, and the copy that I got is in color. I just wanted to have the color. And then it brings you through some optional books. And the ones that I included are ones that are referenced and gives you the page numbers for in the unit. Then some ideas about things to include for like a busy bin for younger kids and bird watching and things like that. And then this explains a little bit about how the notebooking guide works. There's an intro to birds, just thinking about what I know, what I want to know, and then what I learned at the end of it. And then this is where our kind of guided notebooking chapter 1 starts, and it gives you the copy work. So it tells you right here what the copy work is. So if you wanted your child to just copy it in their notebook and not trace it using the copywork pages, then it's right there for you. It also shares that there's an optional scripture copywork to look up Matthew 4:4. Now there's only a couple of like biblical or Christian references in this guide. It is not like heavily in there, although like it is strongly our beliefs. It just so happens that that's not the focus of this unit, but there are those options in there in a couple different places. Then there are copywork notes that like talks you through like how to use copywork, why to use it, options for how to use it, those kinds of things. And then suggested readings, links, QR codes to videos. And then as you go through, you'll see that there are copywork pages, both in print and cursive, for each lesson's copywork. There's the optional scripture work copy page, and then there will be optional books. So QR codes that link to books that might go along with the unit or the lessons in the unit, more links to videos. There's a link to a song here, more copy work. And so it follows that through lesson 10. So there are 45 chapters in the Burgess Bird book for children. I did not do a guide for 45 chapters. I did a guide for the first 10 chapters, and this is all explained in here, in order to teach you and or the child how to, by the time you get to chapter 11, figure out your own rhythm for notebooking, right? Like it'll tell you for certain things like notebooking notes. Think about sketching such and such, or there's bird watching notes and things like that. So it really does walk you through how to do it. And then also for younger kids, there are a variety of these types of pages that they could do just on a sheet like this. You could bind them in a little notebook for them. You can put them on a clipboard. You can cut them and paste them into a notebook. So there's this version, like F is for feather. There's also this version to trace the actual letter if they're really needing to just focus on letters. There are just coloring pages like these for any age kid that just wants to be able to color during the unit. I use it for my 3- and 4-year-olds so that they have something to do during the longer parts of the lesson if they want to be with us and not just off playing. And there is one like this. I guess I don't have any of them printed right here. Actually, nope, I do. That have the cursive. So my 7-year-old wanted to do this one just for fun, and so she did that. So there is something in here truly for ages like 3 through 15. That's my children's ages, and that's who I'm doing this with. So that is basically my unit. I'll share with you the books that I'm using with the unit. They are not required for the unit. You could use any field guide, any bird reference guide, and you'll be just fine. So I'm using the Peterson field guide. This is one that we will use like actually when we go out on hikes and nature walks and to the park and stuff. This one I love. This has the bird songs for 250 different birds. We have ones that have just like the 10 buttons that we absolutely love. Those are board books and better for like the younger kids. But this one has 250 birds. So we can look up every bird in the Burgess Bird unit, or in the Burgess Bird book, and then actually hear what that bird sounds like. So I really love this inclusion. I've also added in pages from the Handbook of Nature Study, and so those are all listed on each lesson in here, just where to find them. And then also, where's the big book? This one is beautiful, but it is giant. This is not your field guide to go out on a hike with. However, it has, I think, like 650 birds in here. And this is lovely, like for all ages, but my older kids really loved like how things were labeled, and you can see like lots of different details in here. So those are the books that I have sort of included in there for like reference, that you have the page numbers, you can quickly go to them. However, you could easily do this unit with your own field guides and just use the index to look up the birds. So that is my contribution. What I want to share with you before we go, I think I'm going to have to do knowledge crates and some of the other things I wanted to show in a separate video because it's just going to get too long, but I want to get to my 2 giveaways. So the first one I've already given away, which is the subscription to American Heritage Adventure Letter. So all you have to do is, this is a stories giveaway. So you'll go over to my Instagram in stories today. It's only going to be for 24 hours. You will follow the instructions in my stories. You follow me, you follow Heritage Letter, and then you slide the bar and you tag, you share the stories and tag a friend. And so that is all you have to do to enter this giveaway. And I'm super excited for you guys to be able to win. There's another giveaway related to my sweatshirt. This is probably my new favorite sweatshirt, so you'll probably see me in it a lot. Motherhood is my ministry, which is so my heart and so goes along with what I was sharing with you about kind of being a season of nurturing and nourishing my family. I hooked up with Created for Grace in the last few weeks, talking about her beautiful company that she started up. She is a future homeschooling mom. She has 2 littles who she is planning to homeschool, and she has an apparel company. She gives away Bibles all the time, and it just was like incredible how it all came together, because if you missed it, I've recently given away a couple of Hosanna Revival Bibles. Then I purchased one for myself, and I gave it away to someone like in real life, in person, and so I don't currently have one to show you, but I'm gonna order another one. So here's what you have to do. She has a launch happening this week. So for this week only, if you purchase using my code, you will get a discount, but you will also be entered in to win one of the gorgeous Hosanna Revival Bibles. So this is one of the brand new shirts, brand new to this launch this week. Motherhood is my ministry. And I have a whole bag of things that she sent me. She has these cute bags. She has stuff for kids. This one is also one that she sent me. You were created for such a time as this. And I'll just try to show you really quick, like this cute butterfly one for my 7-year-old. She sent Fruit of the Spirit for both of my girls. Let's see, beanies for my boys, which are so cute. We were really excited. There's so much stuff in here. I'll probably share these more over on Instagram, but even for my little guy, Faith can move mountains. So I feel like not all Christian clothing companies are created equal in terms of like, I don't love all the styles. Her stuff is beautiful and so fits with like both my heart and my style. So definitely go check her out. If you purchase this week using my code, you will be entered in. We're giving away 3 Hosanna Revival Bibles. So 3 of you, if you purchase anything using my code, will be entered in to win one of those Bibles. So I'm super excited about that. So go grab something from Created for Grace if it's in your budget. Go enter to win a subscription to American Heritage Adventure Letter. And I'm gonna wait on the rest of the stuff, guys, because this is already a super long video. I feel like I say that every single month, but these are long because I'm recapping a whole month and telling you my plans for a whole month. But if you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching. I would love, if you're not already subscribed to my channel, for you to subscribe and stick around. I share all different kinds of things related to motherhood and homeschooling and faith and all of the things. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are new here, introduce yourself down in the comments below. If you're not already following me over on Instagram, you can follow me there at rooted_homelife. And I hope to see you soon in one of my next videos. Until next time, stay rooted.